get the call day before doubles from Timmy O'Malley. Wanted, hey, we need somebody must have bailed that was going to coach, or he had whatever, and there was a varsity opening for Chaney. And I says,
when I was the coach?
No, you were assistant. That was 81.
Oh,
right
okay,
then.
okay, yeah.
And I says, I can't bail on this guy. I made a commitment to go to Ursuline now. I says, I didn't know that there was going to be this opening. And I think that probably didn't sit real well, maybe immediately with all the parties concerned. But
Sure. I remember.
But it was the day before, and Timmy called me to see if I wanted to coach, and
Tommy Olszewski was our quarterback then.
It may have been,
brother.
Yeah.
When I
year,
remember
right after Mark.
When you were at Ursuline, I remember that Tommy was, and we lost a real close game at YSU.
Yeah. So that kind of started the move to Ursuline. I was there from 81 to 88. And then 89, fall of 88 was with you. No, 81 to 88. Yeah, the fall of 88.
I think the second year.
Yeah, 89 was, 88 was my first year with you. Second year was 89, and we started to get it going.
Yeah.
We really shut them down. I mean, and it was just because they never saw anything like that, and they didn't know who to block. And the back, we ended up winning the game. But anyway, that was the first exposure.
So when I came, it wasn't like it was totally he hadn't run the four.
Yeah,
right.
The even front, and it just kind of here's what I learned from it. And when I went to Ursuline, Bert Dockery was the defense coordinator. They were running a 50. Mm-hmm. So I was coaching the nosemen when I was there, and so those for a couple years. And Bart got out, and that's when Jeff took over. But when Jeff took over, Dick wanted him to run the 4. I don't know. Maybe that was what he was at Kennedy. I don't know what made him be a 40 guy. I'm telling you, it was because Mooney ran it at the time, and we're going to beat him at their own game type thing.
Probably.
Yeah. And so we went to the 4, and Jeff was a defensive coordinator then, and I was coaching inside backers, and I went to Ron Stoops Sr. I says, teach me the 40. Okay. That was the best person to go to.
Sure.
And as a position player, we're going to run a 4-4, tough on the outside, like had 7s and 9s on your tight end,
that was the unique part of that is the 40 tough.
And just beat your tight end up, and because you only have 3 wideouts to worry about sometimes. 2 wideouts on a tight end, or double tights and a flanker. So you were all ganged up, had 8 guys in the box. You had a good corner goes to the split, the flanker side, and
Yeah, and I was coaching outside linebackers when
combo coverage. I told you I brought to Boardman and we evolved, but that was Ron against Kozar when he says, "Here, we used to do this combo thing," and so we kind of, we had it at Ursuline a little bit because I knew it from being in there in 1980, at Chaney that he did this combo coverage, and then the evolution of that to where we went to a 3-4 look out of our combo at Boardman, actually against Euclid when my son Michael was a senior. I stood up one of the tackles who was a converted linebacker, so he knew all the reads, and we'd stand him, and we just gamed out of it. We still were sending our 5 almost every play, 4 for sure, 5 most of the time, but sometimes 6, but out of a 3-4 look, in combo. But still playing man under, 2 deep behind, and
today if you can't nickel and dime, if you're not nickel and getting in a nickel or getting in a dime, then you're not going to be in a game.
But that even evolves to where
But and what does that require? That requires 3 stud linemen. I mean,
we needed to be able. When we got a lot of time, got a lot of pressure out of our front 4. I mean, guys that you've had are sitting in front of this mic, Keelan Dykes, and you had some, Solly, and we had some, Kenyon Meadows, and them guys all could get after the quarterback. You know what I mean?
Well, when you can rush 4 and get some heat, I mean, you're winning.
Yeah, we were able to do that on a lot of occasion.
And I think, circling back to running the 40 read, played in it at Ursuline, coached it from my specific position, and I would assume for most, you're basically going through your reads constantly. The practice became mundane, boring.
Read, react, and run.
Right.
Read, react, and run.
But the game became easy.
I have, like I told you before, I have countless stories from Red Angelo, who, I spend a lot of time with when we coached together at Syracuse. Some of it I could share, but there's other things that I wouldn't fit. But
a mad dash to get guys or females or whatever that were missed and induct them.
Yeah.
And then really it only goes for about 20 years. So there's probably a lot of players that should be nominated by people doing homework.
Absolutely. That's why
modern and post eras.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There'll be such a flood, I'm thinking. And what we're trying to do now is not depreciate the current members, the members that have gone in, but we don't want we want to make sure it's defined. What the criteria is defined so that there's no doubt when someone goes in.
I think there's been a good number of support. You have Anthony Floyd obviously was coaching with us when we first came back. Dan Cipriano, he was kind of here for both parts of it. And he would always talk to our kids about, the past, Brad Smith obviously comes up. He comes up for a month every summer, and he's with us at practice every day, working with the quarterbacks, and he keeps in contact all the time. Obviously, we're looking to expand that to just as many people that are willing to support. That could be just coming to the stands and watching our game, reaching out. Our kids are good kids. They work hard for us. They're working kind of bigger than just Chaney. They're kind of working for the city and put us, on the map in Youngstown as a whole, but especially over here on the west side. And they deserve that recognition and support.
Process and looking into all this, it was a pretty big distraction because, you're getting ready to start your season and, you're thinking maybe this is going to be a great shot in the arm for you, but you don't know for sure, and then it's gone. And
did was he? I don't even know where he's from. I remember playing against him. He was he a Southside kid or was he a Boardman kid? Do you know?
I don't know. I know there was an issue with residency, and we were working with downtown, and they were saying, listen, if he's in an apartment with a legal guardian, custodial parent, whatever,
then he's eligible.
Then he would be eligible.
He ends up. I think he ends up being an all SVC lineman. So that year he would. He would have helped you.
He looked the part. So we didn't play Mooney, so I can't speak to how good or bad he ended up being. But
he was pretty good at the G block.
Yeah.
Blocking down. So I think you're talking about. I think tight ends. There's been a lot of strong positions over the years. Maybe I shouldn't say, but consistently tight ends. You've lined up really good. That has been a strong position for you throughout the years.
Oh, no question. That 96. I believe that a good part of our success, is having Bill Ciccarelli and Craig Lynn at, you had bookend tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was an event. It really was a big time event. That 97 year when we were team of the week and we were playing for a state championship, and that was the school was really, really excited. The entire community. Chaney's gym was as full as it ever was.
Rain, sleet, snow, and lots of mud. It's perfect weather for playoff football. who would win the Division III Regional Championship in a City Series rematch between the Cowboys and Golden Bears. Farrell hopes to keep a three-peat drive alive versus Fort Cherry, and the Greyhounds looking to dispose of Gremlins from Carnes City. We have all the verdicts next on this special live edition of Inside High School Football from Chaney High School.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Inside High School Football. We are at Chaney High School, a very loud Chaney High School, the home of the Division III Regional Champions. Joining us, of course, is the man, Dana Bosch, and Ron Berdis, the coach of Chaney Cowboys. Coach, first of all, congratulations on the regional championship.
Thanks very much.
Three. Strong 13. Strong 13. No. I got too many guys there. Time out. You see what I need, Nate, don't you?
That we use to fix the rim.
They're giving me straight 6-2 up front?
Yeah. Except on that last play, they slid.
It handled the... Okay, listen. I want to go strong. It's going to be you and the backer. No, give me T. No, give me strong 13. Strong 13.
Yeah, and sometimes in those situations, what we did is to thank the coach. You know, we would air the piece that was appropriate to air.
Right.
And then we would give the coach the rest of it where he
Yes.
could have fun with his staff and whatever. But, you know, when we asked the coach to do that, you know, they were hesitant because they were like, well, what if I swear? And we were saying, don't worry about that. We'll cut that out. And, you know, it really gave us an insight of, and I think it gave the viewers an insight of what really happens. And,
Sure.
And I think when we put it on the official, Johnny Patton, who was the umpire.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I didn't realize how much, you know, the umpire helps the players. Like, okay, up easy, don't push, fumble. Okay, we got it. We know what you're talking about. I learned a lot from that, and I think that was really a defining moment for us in the show because it showed truly what officials, what coaches are talking about.
It was. Is that the game where somebody's on the side? No names. Where somebody's on the sideline and you had to have a conversation or something?
Yeah, I think you're right, yeah.
When you went to Lakeview, how was that kind of?
That was a little bit of a change. That was Coach Pavlansky's first year. He was on staff, but in '99 he took over as head coach from Paul Kopko. And we were just talking a couple weeks ago about when you guys came up to practice.
And walked on the L.
Walk on that L in the locker room. That's still there. And Coach Pav, he was interested in what we did here at Chaney. Not so much the X's and O's. Yeah, he was interested in that, but the culture. What made it Chaney football?
I ask you, that's one of the things I had in my notes. Like, you know, as an athlete, you really didn't specialize in any one single sport. And then, you know, you've had two sons kind of go through the process now, or one that's gone through a few years ago, one that's kind of like in the thick of it or just has been. What do you think the benefits of being a guy like you, a three-sport athlete, constantly, for the most part, in season, and then, you know, now, if you're really legitimately pursuing that D1 spot, you probably need to specialize.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I hate to say it because I'm a multi-sport guy.
Yeah.
Like I'm a big fan of it. Even from a coaching standpoint, I love when kids play other sports, especially football players. I always say football players just that they help you, make you as a better baseball player. You know, and I always say you need football players in the dugout. You know, kind of reminisce and go back and listen to stories. And obviously, you know, I could tell Coach this all the time, but, you know, he doesn't realize, but, you know, obviously the impact that him and, you know, the rest of the staff with Coach Pope and a lot of our coaches, you know, obviously had made on us moving forward in life and wanting to do things and getting into teaching and coaching. And, you know, these guys played a big role in that. You know, those were some of the best times. I mean, obviously being part of that program meant the world to me. Still does to this day, you know, when we bring it up, obviously talking with friends and things of that nature. But yeah, it was a big part of my life, and I'll never forget it. And obviously, you know, a lot of people don't realize being on the inside. And, you know, you got to see it from a different standpoint, even though you played at Ursuline and had great success there. You know, you got to be part of some really special times with some of the teams that you guys have had. And, you know, but it's been great. I appreciate everything you guys have done.
I think, you know, your conversation, your comment, both of the comments is, you know, the feedback that you get talking to young men that played for you, and now you're talking to the man, they do appreciate, and the reflection is they take a lot of those lessons that were taught and they apply them to whatever profession they're in now, and that enables them to be successful.